Alright guys, so here we have everything we need to make some coconut huts. 2 coconuts, some sandpaper, a saw, a drill, and a hole saw bit. So this hole saw bit is just to drill the opening for whatever you want to use these caves, so make it whatever size your fish are. To get started, you just take your drill and drill a hole in the coconut just to drain the water out of it. Now it goes without saying, but the bigger your hole, the quicker it's going to drain. But we're just going to do that for now. Alright, so now we just let the water drain out of the coconut, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, now that the coconuts are drained, we can discard the coconut water. And the next step is to take your saw and cut the coconuts in half. Now, fairly obvious, but if you want a good finish, it's a good idea to pick the line where you drilled your holes and use that as your starting point to making the cut. So there we have our 2 halves. The cut wasn't as clean as I would have liked. There's some little area there, but we'll clean that up with sandpaper. Okay, now that we've got the flesh out of these coconuts, the next step is to take your sandpaper and just smooth down all the edges. And if you have made a bit of a skew-wave cut like I have, you can sand that down as well. So now I'm just going to get sanding. Now, a good idea, if you haven't done many caves before, you'll know that it's pretty important to have a hole at the top so that the air can escape and it doesn't trap any air in it. So it's a good idea, while we've got the chance now, to just drill a hole in the top, and that way you don't have to muck around and be concerned about air at the top. Next, you put on your hole saw bit. As you can see, mine is like basically at the end of its life, so we're going to see how it goes, but the saw went through it pretty easily, so I don't think we'll need anything too major to get through these coconuts. So this is really what I didn't want to happen, but my drill bit is too worn down, so what I'm going to try and do is get in there with the largest drill bit I have and just sort of work around. So we'll see how that goes. For the record, I don't advocate doing this. I'm sure there's a lot safer ways this should be done. Alright, so now we have a heap of mess and 4 coconuts with holes in them. As you can see, when I tried to do it a bit lower to the bottom, it's just cracked the bottom off. I'm going to super glue it together, but the next step is to boil the coconuts. So they're all smoothed down, they're all sanded, they've got the entrances, they've got the holes at the top. So the next step is just boil them, and then they're right to throw in your tank. So I think you're all smart enough to know what boiling a coconut might look like, so I'm not going to show you putting them in a pot of hot water. So you might just have to imagine that step, but I'll show you what they look like in a tank. Alright, so I've just put one of the coconut huts in with my McMaster Epistogramma, and as you can see, I thought it would be quite a good comparison between the other cheap alternative to creating an Epista cave, which is these flower pots. But one thing about the flower pots is that they have these holes at the top, and I feel like that lets a lot of light down and makes the Epistos feel insecure, because in my experience they've preferred to breed in these watering spikes. So as you can see, that's a perfect example of the female coming out of there. I actually think she might even have eggs in there, but I don't think there's an easy way to check that at the moment. But in any case, it's always good to have heaps of territory in here, because despite ordering 2 pairs, I've actually got 3 males and 1 female, so the more territory the better. That's kind of the boss there. but he's not looking that good at the moment. But yeah, there you go. He's just chasing away the competition there. So I'm sure the cave will be inhabited soon, and it's also a lot less odd looking than having a random pot in your tank. The other one went down here with my Agassizias. As you can see, they're at the back. I'm hoping that they're ready to breed because I've seen a bit of breeding type behaviour. He's got some good colours on at the moment, and she's starting to really yellow up. So we'll see what happens there, but it's probably good timing to just throw another cave in just in case what is on offer here isn't up to their liking. So that was part of the reason for this project today. And the third one went in with the bristlenose because funny sort of experience with these bristlenose. To start off with, I actually had to keep taking the male out because he was just producing so much babies. I was actually concerned for him, so I kept taking him out and putting him back in whenever I needed to replenish the stocks. But recently he just, I don't know whether he's gone off the females that I have or what's going on, but he's just not having any breeding going on at all. So I thought it would be a good idea to try a different sort of cave for him, see if that can sort of reinvigorate him a little bit. So we'll see, but he is fanning at the front of that stake there, so I might check if he's got eggs now, but it's been a long time, so I doubt it. So there you go, guys. That's how to make yourself a cheap cichlid cave that's going to look a little bit less intrusive than the classic terracotta pot. Also, as an aside, I do feel like the coconut is a more flexible route because when I've been drilling these holes in the terracotta, I've had a lot crack on me, and as you saw, I only had 1 out of 4 of the coconut halves crack, so that's pretty good, and I feel like that could just be turned to 0 pretty quickly by not drilling so low. So definitely one that I'll probably make again, and I hope this was an informative video for you. If you do like the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like and subscribe, and leave a comment if this is the sort of stuff you'd like to see, or if you'd like to see something a little bit different. So thanks for watching, I'll catch you on the next one.